Hi everyone, welcome to today's One Card Wonder Wednesday. Today I'm going to be making a card using the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. I wanted to apologize for being a little bit late. One of those days, things didn't go quite as planned, and then I was just sitting on the couch and I was like, I should be doing my video right now. It's already 5 after 6. So that's how my day's going. How is your day going? Hoping you are having a productive day and had a good day at work or home, whatever you were doing today. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm going to pull up my video here just so I can see who's watching and who's not. Hi, Rana. How are you? This is a card that is actually in the catalog. Okay, there we go. Sorry, my Facebook is, I guess because I updated my iPad, it's asking me questions. It is one of the catalog photos. I don't know what page it is on, but it is a really cute little card, and I've been wanting to make it. I love this stamp set to begin with. I love these trees. I think they're adorable, and the punch that comes with them is amazing because you can just punch them right out. But it also, not being traditional colors, I think is fantastic. Now, I did use a different ribbon because I didn't have any more of that ribbon left. I just ordered some more, so I used a black satin 1/2-inch ribbon instead of, I believe it was a Poppy Parade woven ribbon that they had in the card that's actually in the catalog. But I'm going to set this aside and we will get started. Let me just put this over here. You won't be able to see it because it's behind my thing there, but I'll be able to see it so I know what I'm making anyway, and I have all my bits and pieces here. So set the stamp set aside as well. So start with a piece of foamy blue cardstock, score it in the center, fold it over for your card base. Then you have a whisper white circle cut out with the, my brain is really not here today. Cut out with the stitch shaped dies, and this is one of the larger circles. I believe it's the largest one. I have a piece of cardstock to go on the inside of the card. We can set that aside until we're ready. Have a piece of the Brights Designer Series paper. I don't know if you are familiar with just the Designer Series paper that comes in 6x6. So you can get it by color family. So what you'll get is 48 sheets, 4 of each. Like this is the Brights, so you get all of those different colors. I believe it's 48 sheets. No, 40, sorry, because we only have 10 colors. So, and then the opposite side has a different pattern. So I'm using the gingham pattern with the Granny Apple Green paper. And I'm just going to adhere it down with some snail adhesive. Hi Fran, how are you? Thanks for joining. And we'll just put that right at the bottom of the front of the card. Once you have that done, we are going to take the sentiment stamp. And the sentiment that we're using today says, hoping that your busy year comes together in Christmas cheer. And instead of inking it up, we're going to color it with our Stampin' Right markers, which is a way of inking it up, but it's not using the ink pad. So you're just going to run your markers over the words, and I'm going to do the smaller beginning part of the sentiment with the Granny Apple Green and the bottom part. And it's a little hard to see sometimes, so I always try to go over each letter a couple of different times just to make sure I have them colored in really well. And then the bottom sentiment we'll use Poppy Parade. And now with the photopolymer stamps, you have to do this a couple of times on the stamp to get it, to get good ink coverage from the marker. And I think it's just because obviously you're not just stamping it onto an ink pad and picking up a bunch of ink. You're trying to rub ink onto, and that's where going over it a couple times really helps. But also, when you press down, make sure you press down really hard. Not so hard that you hurt yourself by any means, but press down pretty hard. And then if there are any spots that didn't come out, which there probably will be, like I said, this is the first time I've used these stamps, so that makes a difference too. They're not broken in, I guess. But that photopolymer just sometimes little areas it doesn't stick, so I just go back over with the marker just on those little white spots and just color them in. And now it's a little, you know, it's kind of a extra step, but if you want this look with a photopolymer stamp, sometimes you just gotta go with it anyway and do that extra step just so it'll have the two-toned color that you want. Now, I didn't try. I could have tried and just covered part of it with a Post-it note and, you know, colored it that way, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted just to be able to stamp it once and be done. So then get your banner triple punch out. Hi Kelly, how are you? And just trim the end off so you have that done. And then we're just going to take a little piece of snail adhesive on the back of that, and we're going to attach it to this circle. We don't want to go in too far. We're just going to if you lay the circle on here first, you want your banner just to peek over the edge just a little bit on this right hand side, not too far, but just a little bit. So it's easy if you lay it on there to put it together like that. So the next thing we need to do is we're going to take a piece of Whisper White scrap. You can see I've used this for other things. And we are going to use some Granny Apple Green ink. And we are going to stamp both of these trees in Granny Apple Green. We've got this one as Plaid. I love the way this one turns out when it's stamped. It's so pretty. Isn't that pretty? Let me ink it up one more time. I got a little bubble on there. That one's a better image. And then this other tree that is just the little branches. Love this. And this one we are also going to stamp in Versamark on a piece of balmy blue. And we will do that right now. We're going to get a piece of balmy blue. I'm going to get out all of my embossing supplies here that we're going to use. We're going to take the embossing buddy and just go over that because you want to get the static off from your paper. It will help keep your embossing powder from sticking where you don't want it. You want it to stick just to that Versamark ink. And now I am using the Shimmer White, is that what it's called? Yes, Shimmer White Stampin' Emboss Powder. So it has some silver shimmer in there. I'm gonna set this aside so I don't end up knocking it over. And then I'll grab the heat tool. Hi Aunt Sherry, how are you? I'm gonna grab my heat tool and I'm gonna heat that up until that white embossing powder melts. Now the silver doesn't melt in this, just the white melts in this embossing powder. And you gotta make sure you get all of that white melted because that is what is going to hold all your shimmer on there. If you don't get the white melted enough, that's not gonna hold that silver shimmer on there, and that silver shimmer will just flake off like loose glitter. So you wanna make sure you get it good and melted. Hope you were able to hear all that while I had that going. I try to talk just a little bit louder when I have that on. All right, so now that we've got that melted, look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love embossing powder, and just watching it set like that, that melting process is amazing. And you can see even I had a couple pieces of the silver glimmer fly off from that. So I may need to put the heat gun on that for just a couple more seconds. So we'll get this Plaid one punched out. And the easiest way to do these punches when you've stamped something and then you want to punch it is to flip it over so you can see and line it up. It's much easier than trying to punch this tree first and then try to stamp on that punched shape. So let me grab the heat gun real quick. I'm going to go over that one more time. I'm going to hold it down with my scissors since now it's on a smaller piece. Hold it down with my scissors just to make sure it stays there. But yeah, I can see a couple little spots where I didn't quite get the white all the way melted, and it's melting now to hold that glimmer in place. So let that cool for just a moment. And I'm going to grab a piece of, hi Ingrid, a piece of this black 1/2 inch satin ribbon. And I'm not even taking a huge piece. I mean, just over an inch maybe. I'm gonna fold it over because you only need a tiny little piece poking out. I have a stapler here. Doesn't matter, you can use whatever kind of stapler you want. I just staple it right by that fold so it stays in place. And then I'm gonna take my scissors. These aren't the best for cutting ribbon with, but I'm gonna just trim my ribbon. That was supposed to be on an angle. It doesn't look like it. I might need to get a new piece of ribbon. I just ruined that one. All right, and here we go. Make this one just a little bit longer, about 1.5 inches. See how I told you my day is like, not a horrible day, but not a great day either. I'm all fingers, can't get my words straight, you know, one of those days. All right, staple it. Use your scissors to trim it on an angle. So then you just have those 2 little pieces poking out. Grab some glue dots. This is the easiest way to get these little pieces to stick because that glue dot sticks pretty well to ribbon and it also sticks to that staple. You're gonna have this peeking out from the end on this side just a little bit. We will take this little part that we already made and we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. And of course I have this here that I have lots of edge pieces. I'm just gonna snip them and use them because don't want to waste the dimensionals. Put one in the center, put one on this side. And I'm actually going to put one more here because once we get everything hooked on here, it's kind of a little heavy, and not heavy, but more likely that it's going to sink a little bit in the center areas, and we don't want it. We want to make sure it stays puffed up. Now this card can be mailed. It has a little clip on it. I would put extra postage on it if I was going to mail it. It's super for hand delivering just because, and I'll show you the little mini library clips in just a second if you didn't see the card at the beginning of the video. So you have your ribbon hanging off from this end, you have your banner hanging off from this end just a little bit, and don't worry, it will fit in Stampin' Up's medium-sized envelopes because I made the card base just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to post all the measurements, and all of that will be on my blog and a little bit later after, once I download my video and all of that. So this first little green and white tree, just put some either tombow glue or snail adhesive on the back of it. Do the same with the blue tree with the embossing on it. And then this plaid tree, we will put some of our dimensionals on the back of that. Get that on there as soon as I can get these adhesive backs off. Ta-da, magic. And then just make sure when you put this little tree on that you're not covering your sentiment at all. And now we're going to take one of these little library clips. I don't know if you've seen these mini library clips, but they are extremely tiny. We're going to take one of the silver ones. I just think they're the cutest little things. I love them. And I'm going to get some Whisper White Baker's twine here. You don't need a huge length, but you need enough to tie a bow. And what you're going to do, and I will say sometimes these are a little hard to open, and I just broke that one. I don't know how I did that, but I guess I'm super strong. Sometimes they're a little hard to pinch open. Just pinch it open long enough to thread your ribbon or your twine through. And then we're going to clip it right onto the side of this little, right by the tree here. And then we are going to tie a bow. There must have been something wrong with that clip because this one opened just fine. The other one just split right down the middle. Haven't had that happen before. But you get plenty of them in the pack. You get 36 of them in the pack. So if something like that happens, you have lots more they're definitely well worth the money for adding just something a little whimsical to your card, which I just think these are just adorable. I don't want my bow quite that big. Kind of pull my tails out a little bit, and then whenever I do that with baker's twine, I end up making a funky shaped loop. My loops never look right after that. Just trim your tails a little bit so you don't I'm telling you, I need to get my other scissors. These ones apparently are not cooperating. That's a little crooked. That's all right. Now we are going to add some little snowflake sequins just to give it a little bit of bling on the front. And now these are so tiny, so I have to pour some of them out so I can see what's what. And they're there's a little snowflake. They are super staticky, but using your take your pick tool is the perfect thing to use. And then I use my paper piercer at the same time. And you'll need some tombow glue or some other type of glue that you want to glue them down with. And I just put little dots wherever I want to put one. I don't want to do too many dots at the same time because then they'll get dry. But pick it up with that sticky end. Then I use you can use your finger or something else, something to hold it down while you stick the little sequins onto your card. Otherwise, your take your pick tool will just pick them right back up because it's that sticky. There's some little silver sequins here. There are some little stars, which I think are cute. We'll add some of those. And you gotta move them around a little bit to find the snowflakes. Love those snowflakes. They're really cute. And these sequins are, look at that, sticking so much that I can't even get it off from there. Part of the Still Scenes bundle, the Snow Globe bundle. So they are really, I think I might put one actually on the tree too. Why not? So they're meant to go in those little snow globe cards, which I think is a fantastic idea. They would be really cute. And I may make one of those in a video as well. I bought this set the other day and got the sequins, and those snowflakes the snowflakes apparently stick to this better than anything else because they're the only ones I'm having trouble taking off. And then these little iridescent clear ones are just so cute. Maybe I have some extra glue on there. There we go. Got it. I think it stayed. I have one more spot right there. We'll put another silver one there. But I love how it turns out when you add just a little something extra sparkly to the front. And now I'm not going to scoop those up yet because they're going to end up stuck to my fingers if I do. I did it earlier and I had them all over the tips of my fingers. I couldn't get them off. So just beware, they're very staticky. All right, now we have our piece for the inside of the card. And I'm just going to take this plaid tree and I'm going to get that granny apple green again because we don't want to have any of the inside of our cards naked. So I'm going to get that granny apple green again. I'm just going to stamp it off once, and then I'm just going to stamp it partially on the corner of the inside of the card like that. So it's a little bit lighter. It's lighter than that original. I probably could have done it even one more shade lighter and it would have been just fine. But that looks good just like that. Put some snail adhesive on it or some tombow, whichever you prefer. Adhere it to the inside of our card. Hopefully none of my sequins fall off. They should be stuck pretty good with that glue. It's not dry yet though, so I want to be careful not to open this all the way. Get that on the inside of your card. And there you have it. That's today's One Card Wonder Wednesday. Like I said, this is an image from the inside of the catalog. They used a different ribbon than what I used because I was out of that ribbon. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you try to make this card for yourself. Right now, this month is my birthday month. So if you go to valeriesmith.stampinup.net and order $50 or more in whatever you want to order, it doesn't have to be something for this project, any project you want to purchase stuff for, and use this host code. You have to use this host code QPQCUNZ2. And like I said, $50 or more, and you will get a free gift from me in November. So I hope you enjoyed today's One Card Wonder Wednesday. Thank you for joining me, and I will get all of this information, this video, all of the measurements, the colors, the paper, everything that I used for this card on stampinwithvalerie.com in just the next half hour. And I appreciate you watching. Have a great evening. Bye.